What's up, guys? It's Sydney with Echo Expressions. I am back. I am feeling good because I got my intro uploaded, and it was fucking difficult. It took me a couple hours how to figure out how to do everything I need to do, like edit it and put a picture behind it and all that shit. I am not tech savvy, okay? So you're gonna have to deal with it a little bit. When I eventually go to video, it's gonna be a fucking nightmare. I'm gonna literally have no social life. I'm gonna be glued to my computer for like 7 hours at a time. I think I'm just gonna hire a tech guy. I swear. Like, this is way too fucking difficult. I can't even talk. I can't even talk. It's turning my fucking brain to mush. Okay? I'm like 27 years old. I don't know how to do technology shit. I can barely work my phone. My kid can work my phone better than I can, which is scary. Because there's some shit in there I don't want him to see. Anyway, so this week we are going to be talking about marijuana moms. I told you guys in the intro I was going to have guests on and stuff. But right now, I just kind of have been wanting to be by myself for a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I'm one of those people that needs my alone time. So, I'm going to do this podcast alone today. All right? But, yeah, you're going to have to put up with my ass. I'm sorry. Sorry, kind of. Not really, because you're listening to me rant. Any fucking way. So, yeah. So I'm going to start with my pregnancy, work my way to working in the industry, and then go from there. All right. So, around the time that I got pregnant, it was 2009. I gave birth in November, so I got pregnant in the beginning of the year in 2009. And medical marijuana wasn't a thing back then, okay? So it wasn't legal. We didn't have dispensaries in Arizona and all that stuff. Now it's just so fucking common. It's like you see one on every corner, and it's crazy. It's like fucking McDonald's now, which is cool, you know? I'm totally down for it, obviously. I'm in the industry, and I'm a big fucking supporter, so kind of have to be about it. But yeah, medical marijuana was legalized, at least in Arizona, in 2010, and that was for very serious cases. So it was for like people with epilepsy, terminal cancer, that kind of thing. It didn't take that long for it to progress into, basically anybody can get their fucking card. You just have to have some type of medical ailment to qualify, which I'm not going to lie, there are a lot of sketchy doctors out there in the medical marijuana industry who will give anyone their card. And that's just so they can make money, obviously. This is, what the world goes around with money and shit. So, yeah, a lot of shitty doctors out there, not going to lie. But I'm a big supporter of the medical side of it, mainly because when I first got into it, not into smoking pot, obviously, because I was in fucking high school at some point in my life, you know what I'm saying? Like, I smoked pot, in high school. I'm lying. I smoked it in elementary school, fucking 8th grade or whatever. God, I hope my kid doesn't hear this shit. Anyway, so definitely... fuck, I lost my train of thought. What the fuck was I talking about? See, this is why drugs are bad, okay? Not marijuana. I don't consider marijuana a drug, to be honest, because it's not really it is kind of modified in today's society, depending on, which dispensary you get it from or whatever. Some places do all organic, some places don't. Some places, flush the fuck out of their plants, which means, for those of you who are not in the industry or whatever, it means to get any, chemicals or growth stuff or whatever the fuck you want to call it out of the plant. The shit that they put in the plant to help it grow better, they take that shit out. Okay? Basically what it is. So, in 2000, like I said, there's no medical around, right? So, when I found out I was pregnant, I was doing that, and, I was doing other shit too. I was fucking young, and I used to be a drug addict, so it's like, hey. I mean, I guess I wouldn't say I used to be a drug addict, because once a drug addict, always a drug addict. But yeah, I don't currently do the drugs that I was doing. In fact, marijuana helped me get off of one of the drugs that I was doing. So obviously, people are going to be fucking curious at this point. Anybody who like really knows who I am or whatever, like, knows what I did. So I spent like 7 years, 8 years of my life slash childhood doing drugs, doing meth and heroin and whatever I could get my hands on. And when I finally got off of heroin, by the way, I'm 5 years plus whatever days clean, so yay me. But anyway, but medical marijuana helped me get off that shit. It really did. It really fucking did. At that point, I had my card. Yes, at that point I did. But during my pregnancy, I did not. So I know I keep jumping around. That's what happens when you do a bunch of drugs and your brain is fucked. So can't follow the sequence of what the fuck you're saying. But anyway, so I, didn't really think I was pregnant. I was so young, and like there was a point in my life where I thought I was invincible like every other fucking teenager. And I was like, oh, no, I could never get pregnant. No, that's not going to happen to me, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm a fucking female, so it's possible, and it happened. But, yeah, so I don't think that it's bad for pregnant women to use medical marijuana, personally, in my opinion. I'm not no fucking doctor or whatever, but doctors wouldn't prescribe it to pregnant women if it could do any physical or mental harm to the fetus, right? Right. Anyway, so I smoked weed during my pregnancy. Not the last couple of months, but in the beginning of my pregnancy, yeah, I smoked weed. But you have to keep in mind, like, if I literally stopped doing everything I did, like, back then, like, because I stopped, obviously, doing other drugs and, like smoking cigarettes or whatever. Like, I didn't do that when I was pregnant. I couldn't, because they made me fucking sick, and I wish they made me sick now. I stopped doing everything I was doing, because I was honest with my doctor. I told her what I did, you know what I mean? And I wasn't planning on getting pregnant, like, obviously. So, yeah, I mean, you don't really plan on getting pregnant at 18. I don't think that's, like, a goal that people have. You know what I'm saying? That'd be fucking weird. If you have a goal to be pregnant when you're fucking 18 years old or any other age younger, fucking see a psychologist or something. See somebody, okay? Because you got something fucked up in your head. Enjoy your youth, all right? That's all I'm saying. Enjoy your fucking youth. But I have never dealt with a more calm child. Like, when my son was a baby, he would, like, sleep through the night. Like, obviously not, like, the first, like, 2 months or whatever. Like, he, got up at least, once or twice a night, like, for feedings and whatever. But I could lay this kid down. He would pass out. He would take a nap. He was always super, like, quiet. He didn't cry very loud. He didn't want to have one of those annoying-ass baby fucking screams, right? Like, you think your ears are going to start bleeding type of screams. It wasn't like that. Like, he was, like, a very calm crier. Even when he was, like, pissed or, like, shit his pants or whatever. Like, he would always cry, like, very softly. And, like, he didn't start acting more defiant, obviously, until he got older. That's what kids fucking do. But he was just a great kid, man. Like, there's nothing fucking wrong with him, Like, and he was, like, the perfect size, perfect weight when he was born. Like, he didn't have any health issues or anything like that. Good hearing, good vision. From what we could tell, he was a fucking baby. But yeah, so it's like, in my personal opinion, I don't believe that it's wrong for someone who is pregnant to use medical marijuana, especially if they are doing it in a legal way. So if they have their card, I work in a dispensary right now. I have a couple of patients that are pregnant, and they come in, and sometimes the other patients will, kind of look at them funny, like, hey, what are you doing? But I don't think that they fully grasp the concept of marijuana and the actual medical benefits that it can have. My son is extremely smart, like extremely smart. He's about to be tested for the smart kids class. I don't know what the fuck it's called. Never went to it, obviously. But yeah, like, you know, there's nothing that fucking definitively proves that it does any harm to a fetus or its intelligence or its physical or mental being. It just doesn't. Plus, a lot of the stuff that I did, like when I was pregnant, I would do a lot of edibles and stuff. You know, they were shitty at the time because we didn't have like medical or whatever. So like, you know, they weren't that great. But I would do that. I would also smoke, but I was also not smoking cigarettes, which is fucking crazy for anybody that also knows me, because I am a heavy fucking smoker. And not so much anymore. I've cut it back a lot. I went from like a pack a day to like fucking 6 to 7 max cigarettes a day. Like, I've cut it back a lot. Like, a lot. Like, you could probably hear it in my voice for the people who, like, know me and, like, used to talk to me, but don't talk to me anymore. And now you're hearing this shit because you're like, what the fuck's up with her? What is she doing with her life? I don't know. And then they're like, oh, shit, like, you know, she sounds better. Like, she doesn't sound like a fucking 6-year-old dying woman anymore, which is kind of cool. I like it. I'm trying to quit smoking. I am. Side note, trying to quit smoking. I gotta gradually do this shit, all right? Like, fucking -1 cigarette every month, and then I'll be good. And then I can eventually quit. But I'm that type of person. I have to wean myself off of that shit. I know that. I just know that about me, which is fine. That's totally cool. But anyway, back to case in point. Yeah, so the patients that I have that come in that are pregnant, you know, they do get the looks or whatever, but I tell them my personal opinion. I'm like, yo, I think it's cool that you're so, like, proud or whatever to come in here and get your meds, because, like, back in the day when I was pregnant, I don't know if I would have had that, like, audacity or, you know, what have you to, you know, do that. And like I said, medical marijuana wasn't a thing when I was pregnant. If it was, then maybe I wouldn't have had CPS at the fucking hospital or whatever because of my test results for my baby. And, you know, I understand, like, I completely get, like, screening an infant's, or I'm sorry, a fetus's blood or whatever for drugs, because you don't want the mom to be, like, on crack or heroin or whatever, or meth or something, because that, yes, that can do damage to an infant. But I have never seen a case where medical marijuana has, you know, caused any type of, like, medical ailment or deformity or whatever, you know, to a baby. Like, and if you have, fucking send that shit over to me, all right? I'd love to see it. I really would. I'm not even saying that to be an asshole. Like, I want to see the proof, if there is any, because literally have done my research and have talked to thousands on thousands of people. And I'm not, like, exaggerating when I say that. Like, this is my 5th year in the industry. So I have literally talked to thousands of fucking people about this shit. And it's cool to get everybody else's opinions and shit. It really is. Because, like, you know, other people do research on their own, obviously. Like, they, you know, I'm not the only one in the fucking world who does research. So it's cool also to hear, like, what other people have, like, read or done research on or whatever when it comes to the medical marijuana industry, just because it's so fucking interesting and fascinating. But yeah, so I currently work at a dispensary. Like I said, I love my fucking job so much, so fucking much. I help a very wide range of people. So I do help people who are, like, terminally ill and who have, like, medical ailments like fibromyalgia and stuff like that, who, like, literally are just in so much physical pain throughout the day that when they come into, like, our store, like, we get to help them feel physically better throughout their day and maybe even throughout their night, because you never know how much pain or whatever that a person goes through when they're dealing with, like, fibromyalgia, like cystic fibrosis, fucking, you know, muscular dystrophy, whatever. Like a lot of people deal with that shit, and it's physically draining on them. So if I and my coworkers can give them some type of relief throughout the day, that's a fucking blessing. It's a fucking blessing. It really is. I believe that what we do is actually extending people's lives. Um, I previously worked at a different dispensary, and we had this patient. He had um, terminal cancer, and the doctors gave him like, I think it was like 6 months to live or something like that, and he ended up living for like a year or something like that, to like almost a year and a half. I think it was about a year and a half, but we extended his lifespan. We gave him extra days to spend with his family because of the medication that we are providing. And that to me is priceless. Like if I can give you more time with your loved ones when you don't think that that's a possibility, that's one of the greatest gifts that I can give you. And the only way that I'm doing it is standing behind a counter selling you medication, then so be it. You know what I mean? That's fine. But like his family or whatever came in and gave us all like a card that like was thanking us, after he passed, obviously, and thanking us for like the extended time that we had allowed them to have with him and all that. And that was just so fucking rewarding. Like it made me feel like I don't think I've like felt that good about work, about any work ever that I've ever done in my life. And I haven't had like the best jobs or whatever. Like, it's I'm not saying that like compared to all my other rewarding jobs. Like, no, I've never had like a real rewarding job until now. Like, I feel this is very rewarding. And when I say now, I mean like the past 5 years or whatever. But yeah, it's just like, it's cool to like help people or like do that for somebody, because you don't know exactly what you're doing for them, but you just know that you're helping them in some way. And that's fucking awesome. So legit love my job. But anyway, so on to the next thing. So when I said marijuana moms in the title, like the main thing that I was thinking about is the actual people who have to use medical marijuana for their child. I'm blessed or whatever to not have that be the case for me. I use it for my own medical ailments, but there are people who have children who have epilepsy and who have, 90 to 120 seizures a day, who take, medical marijuana, not in smoking it. These kids aren't fucking lighting up a blunt or whatever. Like, there's not like promethazine in it, like we're gonna smoke a lean blunt or something. But it's distributed to them in a oral way. So basically what happens is we take the medical marijuana, concentrate it, make it into RSO, or Phoenix Tears is another word for it. Those are just trademarked names for Rick Simpson oil. And what that is it looks like fucking heroin. It's so fucking weird because it's like black and it's in a syringe, right? But yeah, it's in a syringe. I know I kind of like sped over that part a little bit, but it's not. It doesn't have like a needle attached to it. It has an opening like where you would put the needle attachment, but that opening you put it like on food, or you could take it orally without any like food or anything like that, but it tastes like fucking ass. Like so bad. It tastes like ass. Like, I'm telling you, you don't want to take it straight. It's gross. So the way I take it, because I take it for my scoliosis, it helps with pain as well. So what I do is I'll put it on like a piece of toast or something and cover it with like peanut butter or like butter, because it's got that like consistency. It's like slippery, but it's like stable, so it's like honey. It's weird. But anyway, so like that's basically how you take it. So, when people are like, oh my gosh, medical marijuana, kids, blah, it's like, no, bitch, like, listen, like, we're not letting these kids light up bleezies. And like, spark a J, okay? They're fucking taking it orally like they would Tylenol. Or like they would, cough medicine if they were fucking sick. Like if they had a cold or whatever. You know? So it's like, don't make such a big deal out of that. Because that's definitely not the case. No parent who actually gives a fuck enough about their kid to go through the entire ridiculous process to get them a medical card to begin with, because it's fucking hard to get a kid a medical card. Like, they literally have to be, like, so seizured out that they can't do anything during the day, or, like, in so much physical pain, or so terminally ill that you have to, like, seriously fucking prove that shit. Like, they're not going to give a medical card to any fucking kid. They'll give it to any fucking adult. I'm not going to lie to you. They will. Like, they'll give it to any fucking adult. But, like, they're not going to give it to any kid. That's not going to happen. So, like, ever. Even, like, 20, 30 years from now when we're fucking progressive, more progressive than we already are and all that bullshit, it's not going to happen. I'm telling you. Unless it's, like, a fucking, like, need. Like, it's a necessity. This kid needs RSO because he can't go a minute a day without having a fucking seizure, okay? That's what that shit's for. Sorry, I get heated about that stuff because right now we're going through this big law thing. I was just at a protest at City Hall like a couple months ago with a couple of my friends, and it was about like saving the concentrate part of the medical marijuana. So what they're trying to do is say that in the original Medical Marijuana Act of Arizona that concentrates were not originally included, so therefore they're illegal. So they're trying to outlaw this shit that saves little kids' lives. I'm sorry, what? You want to outlaw the concentrate part of it, which is the only medical benefit part for children, by the way. Because no mom's going to let their kids spark up a joint. But hey, if your kid has 120 fucking seizures a day and you can't buy concentrates or whatever, I mean, right now you still can because all the dispensaries are protesting it or whatever, and we're waiting for it to go through the appellate court and see if it gets appealed. We'll fucking see. But that's going to take up to a year from when this started, which was like a few months ago, I believe. And, so we got a little bit of shit to walk through still before we're in the clear. But, yeah. So, if it comes down to that and they take it the fuck away from us, which would be detrimental to them, I'm telling you right now, there'd be riots all over the fucking city. Nobody have their edibles, their RSO, their cartridges, their fucking shatter, crumble, butter, honeycomb, whatever. Like, you don't have any of that shit. You just have flour. That's it. Which I'm sure to, like, anybody on the fucking East Coast, like, listening to this shit, like, that doesn't have medical or whatever, it's not legal or even, medically legal. Like, I'm sure this sounds crazy as fuck to you. But, like, on the West Coast, bro, it's not that crazy. All right? It's really not that crazy. Because we've been so used to this shit. Like, I've had my medical card. I had my medical card first in California before here. So I did, technically, I had my medical card in California in like 2009, okay? And I've had my medical card every year since then. But I couldn't buy in Arizona, obviously, because there wasn't fucking medical here at that time. California is loosey-goosey too with their fucking laws. Anyway, but yeah, so it's like, so I don't know. It would just be scary to like imagine a world without concentrates, and that's might sound crazy to some people, who don't use medical marijuana, but for those of us who depend on it, like you might depend on Xanax, or might depend on Oxycontin, or might depend on any other pharmaceutical drug that's actually way worse for your organs than medical marijuana is, then you'd be flipping out too. And to be honest with you, even if they did do that, imagine if they took your Xanax and shit away, your Oxycontin and shit. Y'all be withdrawing like the fucking, like I was when I got off heroin. That shit's crazy. You try going through it and, like, I would rather give birth again than, like, withdraw from heroin. I know that sounds crazy to some people, especially guys, but, like, no bullshit. I'd rather do that. at least it was like 24 hours of hell rather than fucking, I don't know. My withdrawals, like, because of how much I did or whatever, they lasted like a month. Like, I had to move like my best friend in at the time to like help take care of me, like, because I was like vomiting and shitting all over myself. It was disgusting. So, moral of the story: don't do drugs, okay? But yeah. So it'd be crazy if that shit got taken away from us. I really don't think it will. Like I said, because of the riots or whatever that I think will come as an effect to that. So I doubt it, but we shall see. But yeah, other than that, like when I go to my son's school and stuff, for instance, like this is like completely different because I don't advertise that I fucking smoke marijuana. Like if I it's really out of respect for my son, to be honest with you, because if I go to a school like well, this doesn't happen because I work Friday through Sunday, like 14-hour shifts or whatever, and my kid is with his dad at that time, which works out well for my schedule. But like, let's say I had to go to work on one of the days I had to pick my son up from school. Like, I'm not gonna show up at his work with my fucking dispensary uniform on and like reeking like bud. Like, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I mean? And it's not just because like I don't want his teachers or his parent or like the parents or whatever to judge me, because I don't give a shit about what, like, to be honest, like you or anyone else thinks of me. Because yeah, if I did, it'd be hard to do this fucking podcast, like super hard, because I'm gonna say some shit, all right, that's gonna either piss you the fuck off or have you right by my side on my team. You're gonna be like team sitting all day, all right? But anyway, so I wouldn't do that out of respect for my kid, because I wouldn't want him to be ridiculed or like his friends say something that their mom or dad said about me being, you know, working where I work or whatever. Like and also my kid knows he doesn't know that what I like do or whatever is or was considered a drug. Like he's not aware of the whole like reefer madness bullshit that went on back in the day, which made everybody super scared of marijuana and blah blah blah. Like, he doesn't even know that it's called marijuana when I'm taking my medicine, which is what I call it in front of him, which is actually the truth. But I don't like I'll be like, you know, mommy needs to take her medicine, or he'll be like, mommy, what's that smell? And I'll be like, oh, it's mommy's medicine. You know what I mean? So I'm not like going out there being like, oh yeah, this is medical marijuana, this is Blue Dream, this shit'll get you lit, and then this is Granddaddy Perp, this shit'll make you, you know, like sit on the couch and slump. Like, I'm not fucking doing that with my kid. Like, he's almost 9. Like, he's too young for that shit still, you know? When he's like 12, 13, like when he starts getting into the teens or whatever, I'm going to have to better explain it to him, because obviously somebody's going to bring marijuana around him, and he's going to recognize that smell and be like, yo, that's my mom's medicine. Where the fuck did you get that from? You know? That's going to be funny, actually. But yeah. And, like, it's funny, too, because when I think about that, it's just, like, hilarious, because I play it out in my head, and I'm like, yo, like, this kid is going to be, like, bringing marijuana to school and feel like he's all cool or whatever. Like, look at this fucking weed I got, bro. Like, da-da-da-da. And then I guarantee once my son puts 2 and 2 together, because he's a smart and witty motherfucker. But once he puts that shit together, he's gonna be like, yo, your shit is garbage compared to what my mom has. Like, fucking garbage, bro. Like, straight gross. You know what I mean? Like, Mersh or whatever. So it's gonna be funny, man. It's gonna be so funny. Like, yo, guess what? My mom has better weed than you do, bro. That's embarrassing. You need to get on your shit, kid. I'm just kidding. That sounded so terrible. Anyway, any fucking way. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I will educate my son when the time comes for it, when it's appropriate. I'm sure he's gonna get it before he's fucking 12. You know what I mean? My expectations, I think, are a little high there, but hopefully, fingers fucking crossed that he's not like a fucking, it's not next year or next month or some shit. Hey, but if it is though, if it is next year or next month though, or next month especially, I'll definitely let you guys know because that'd be funny as hell. But I doubt that's gonna happen. But anyway, so I'm gonna wrap this bitch up because it's been, holy shit, it's been 32 minutes. All right, yeah, I'm gonna wrap this bitch up. So next week I'm gonna talk about cause and effect and self-confidence. Let's go with that. Cause and effect and self-confidence. But yeah, we're that's probably not even going to be the title. It'll probably be something different or whatever. But I'll let you guys know or whatever next week. So yeah, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram. It's at Sydney's Poisonous. And then the podcast is at Echo Expressions. And then on Facebook, the podcast is Echo Expressions Podcast. All right? So go fucking follow that shit. Like and subscribe. Share with your fucking friends. And I will see you guys next Thursday. Thanks for listening. Bye, bitches.